When Sarah Bowes finally got up the nerve to go into her daughter's room, she cleaned it. After not going inside for 7 months, her world fell apart. She couldn't handle the emotional weight it put on her daughter when she saw her daughter's things. Jessica had not been seen in 7 months. Jessica woke up one day and decided she would never go back to live with her parents. Her sudden departure and disappearance hurt the whole family, but Sarah, her mother, was the one who felt it the most. The story about Jessica running away made no sense because she wasn't the type to do that. Even though she had a fight with her mom before she disappeared, she would never run away, no matter how many fights she has had with her mom. At first, both Jessica's family and the police thought she had just left home. There was no sign that someone had broken in, and nothing was out of place in her bedroom. Her bag and phone were also gone, so they thought she had left on her own and had planned the whole thing. But they would find out later that this was their first mistake. When the search party gave up, Sarah's world fell apart when she realized she might never see her daughter again. Sarah had to find a way to get the police to work twice as hard and keep looking for her child. She must be somewhere, and it's important to find her. Sarah needed proof that Jessica didn't run away. It was time to think outside the box, but first she had to face reality and accept that her daughter might never be found and that she would probably have to live with it. Thought about how her daughter was gone forever, Sarah decided to do something she had been putting off for months in order to get the proof she needed. She got up the nerve to go into Jessica's room. She was crying and hurting as she cleaned the room where her daughter had last been seen. Since the police searched the house, she hadn't been there. She knew Jessica wasn't coming back when her usually clean room was in such a mess. Everything in the room seemed fine at first, but when she went into the bathroom, everything turned upside down. It was the first scary piece of a puzzle. Sarah looked in the mirror and saw a strange red light. She walked toward it to find out where it came from. After a close look, it turned out that it was in the handle of the mirror. At first, she thought it was an odd reflection, but as she got closer, she saw that it wasn't. Sarah looked at the strange red light puzzle for a while, and then she got it. As soon as she saw what she was looking at, her heart started beating like crazy. It was a hidden camera in her daughter's bathroom mirror, and it was still recording. The camera was in an odd place and looked suspicious. It seemed like it happened there. Sarah pulled the camera out of the mirror and called her husband in an evil way. He ran in when he heard the worry and fear in her voice. They didn't know what was going to happen. The cameras already had it set up. Why would Jessica want to put cameras in her own bathroom? Her husband took Sarah's camera and ran to the computer. He couldn't type fast enough as he looked up everything he could about its model and how to find the device it was connected to. He did research for hours and looked through every website he could find until he found the answers he was looking for. It was possible to find the device, but they needed help from experts to do so. The parents decided right away to call the police, who then called the FBI. Sarah needed a new piece of evidence to show the police that her daughter's disappearance was much more complicated than it seemed. Sarah and her husband were worried for a few days while they waited to hear what the FBI found in their investigation. When the police finally got in touch with them, they couldn't believe what they had told them. The police told them that the camera was linked to a device that was only a few blocks away. The camera led to Max's house, who is a friend of Jessica's. Even though they were told to wait for the police to arrive before going to the house, Sarah and her husband ran down the street as soon as they realized they couldn't waste any time if their daughter was really being held there. Heaven knows what will happen. They couldn't get into the house through the front door because the door was locked. Sarah was able to throw a rock through the window when the police came and busted in the door. They told Sarah and her husband to stay outside while they broke into the house. After waiting for a few minutes, Jessica ran out the front door and almost fell when she saw her parents waiting outside. With their hearts beating fast, Jessica told them everything from the start. When she first saw the camera plant in her bathroom mirror, she was shocked by Levin. She told Max about it right away and even threatened to call the police on him if he didn't stop. And that was when he went crazy. He freaked out because he didn't want anything on his record, so he locked her in one of his bathrooms, where she had been for the past 7 months. Jessica was never hurt in any way physically, which is a good thing. She was fed and given a TV, but her phone was taken away so she couldn't talk to anyone else. She ran to her parents with a big smile and told them she was sorry for making them feel so sad and worried. Sarah thought she was living in a strange movie. This was the kind of story you can only find in books or on streaming websites with thriller TV shows. Sarah was so happy to have her daughter back in her arms, even though the last few months have been hell for her. But she was still thinking about a few things. How did the police miss the bathroom camera on their first check? And how did her friend's parents not notice their son was hiding their daughter in their own home? Sarah needed answers to find her bothersome questions as soon as possible. Since she later found out that devices could be used to control the camera, the red light only came on when it was recording. The police didn't notice because he turned it off during the search of their home. The answer to her other question was that Max's parents had moved to another state a year ago, leaving him alone in the house.